Okay, here we go with Chapter 2, Organization Strategy and Project Selection. Now, project selection will start primarily with strategic initiative of the organization. So, strategic management process provides a lot of benefits to the organization, including better focus on future of the organization, better return on capital investment, better allocation of scarce resources, and more agile response to the organization's environment. Now, a typical sequence of activities for developing strategic management process includes defining a mission, analyzing the organization and industry to formulate strategies, developing goals and objectives, and then implementing those strategies through projects. Now, defining the organizational mission is just all about understanding and writing down what you want this organization to become in the future. Now, in order to formulate effective organizational strategies, you must first analyze the strengths and weaknesses of your organization. This means analyzing the organization's value chain and understanding what you do well and what you don't do well. Then you must look at the environment within the organization's industry to understand the external threats and opportunities. From this, you can develop strategies to eliminate the weaknesses and combat the threats, while also developing strategies to take advantage of the organization's strengths and the opportunities. Once you have formulated the organizational strategies, then you can start to develop the organizational goals and objectives. These should be specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-related, or SMART. And above all, linked directly to the organizational strategies. Now, with the goals and objectives set, you can then list out the projects to implement those objectives. With portfolio management, those projects will be prioritized based on a certain criteria developed by that organization. Now, it is imperative that the project managers of the organization have a good understanding of that organization's overall strategy and how each of the projects are linked to that strategy. It allows the project manager to make smart decisions while managing those projects, and in that way can be much more effective for implementing the strategies of that organization. Now, the whole idea behind project implementation is to gain the best benefit for the cost. Issues with project prioritization, market and business focus, etc., are problems that can come from not linking projects to the organizational strategy. Organizations select projects based on financial and non-financial criteria, and in some cases utilize a weighting model for selecting these projects. Obviously, from a financial standpoint, the organization is looking for the highest return on investment. We'll go through several of those formulas in a later slide. We'll also talk about some of the non-financial reasons for selecting projects. Now, here are some of the formulas used in project selection. There are calculations such as net present value, benefit cost ratios, and return on investment calculations, to name a few. We won't really we'll just touch on these formulas and calculations, but we won't really spend a lot of time on them in this particular course. But you just need to understand that these formulas give real data to the organization on what projects they should select and move forward with. Now, besides the financial calculations used to select projects, there's also a non-financial criteria that that is used as well. Things like capturing a larger market share, um, getting an edge over the competitors, um, developing new technology, or reducing dependency on unreliable suppliers. Um, in some cases, these non-financial criteria may come into play more so than the financial reasons, just because of the strategic process or the strategies of the organization. There are several different methods for project selection. Um, there's the checklist model, which does not really answer the real value of the project, nor does it allow for the comparison with other projects. This can cause project selection process to be flawed in some ways. The multi-weighted model evaluates the project quantitatively and qualitatively to better understand the value of each project. It also allows comparison of one project to another. This comparison of projects is very, very important for businesses. There may be several projects that are strategically equal, but one may provide a quicker payback period or have a higher return on investment than the other. So you always want to choose the project with the higher overall value to the organization. So I think the multi-weighted scoring model certainly is a benefit when selecting projects. Now, oftentimes, projects will have a strategic effect on the organization's operations. For instance, they may be leasing a piece of equipment with an operating lease, whose lease is expiring in the coming months. It may be advantageous for the customer to replace the equipment and possibly get a lower monthly payment. This will decrease their monthly operating expenses, which helps the bottom line of profitability. Applying a weighted scoring model will help to align these projects to the organization's strategy, whether it's reducing costs, developing new markets, or process improvement projects. It will properly identify the projects that are best aligned with the strategy. Now, I'd like to define a couple of terms here with regards to projects, project management. The first term is portfolio. Company's project portfolio represents the entire investment in projects and programs. They should be aligned with the strategies of the organization. Step below that is the program. Now, programs are a group of related projects coordinated together. Organizations often group these projects together into programs to increase the benefits from each project. And then, of course, the project itself, as I think I've talked about in Chapter 1, is just a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Now, with the portfolio of projects within an organization, it's really important that these projects be managed properly. Again, these projects should be aligned with the organizational strategy, so it's important that senior management provide the guidance for these projects. That can help to manage the resources, such as manpower and capital, required for the portfolio of projects. Keys to successful managing of this portfolio are transparency with project prioritization, objective project selection, free from the organizational politics, making of proper adjustments to the organization's goals and objectives, or changing goals and objectives, and then evaluating and reporting the progress of each project. Issues that can come from lack of an effective portfolio management system are implementation gaps, organizational politics and resource conflicts. There can be gaps in the proper implementation of projects that cause added time, cost, and frustration to the organization and their stakeholders. Organizational politics can come into play when selecting projects, causing the wrong projects to be selected at the wrong time. It is important to have a strategy that looks at the benefits and costs of projects so that the proper projects can be selected at the right time. And with multiple projects going on at the same time, resources such as capital and human resources become constrained. A proper project selection process can help to alleviate those issues. Now, the last slide I have here is just the key terms from the textbook. So I would urge you to look further for information on these terms in your textbook.